What if you could witness a major gang bust from the front lines? Today we examine the dramatic arrest of a member of the Mongols Motorcycle Club. Watch what happens when law enforcement finally catches up with a well-known Mongols member. Will they discover more than they expected? The Mongols Motorcycle Club traces its roots to the late 1960s in California. Formed by a group of riders seeking brotherhood outside traditional social structures, it grew into one of the most prominent outlaw motorcycle clubs in the United States. As the club expanded, chapters spread across multiple states. The Mongols emblem, a Genghis Khan-like figure riding a motorcycle, became widely recognized. The club developed a reputation for strong internal loyalty and aggressive defense of its territory. Over the years, authorities have linked the organization to a range of criminal activities, including drug trafficking and illegal firearms distribution. Some incidents involving members have led to violent confrontations, increased public concern, and intensified law enforcement scrutiny. Encounters between the club and law enforcement have added to its public image as an organization operating on the edge of legality. Investigations often focus on alleged organized criminal activity tied to specific members or chapters. For months, law enforcement agencies focused on a high-ranking Mongols member as part of an ongoing investigation. Detectives relied on informant information and surveillance to build a clearer picture of suspected operations. Surveillance teams monitored movements, tracked associations, and gathered evidence over an extended period. Coordination between local police departments and federal agencies was essential. Strategy meetings were held, communication channels remained active, and investigators worked to assemble enough evidence to support enforcement action. Intercepted communications and surveillance footage contributed to the growing case. As the operation moved toward its final phase, officers prepared to execute the arrest. After months of intelligence gathering, law enforcement determined the time was right to act. The stakeout and arrest operation. As evening approached, officers positioned themselves in unmarked vehicles near a location the suspect was known to frequent. The atmosphere was tense but controlled. Units received final briefings and confirmed their roles. Officers discreetly took up positions around a plain, graffiti-marked building believed to be connected to the suspect. Communication was steady and precise as they waited for the right moment to move in. The operation had been carefully planned, and each step was designed to minimize risk while ensuring the arrest could be carried out safely and effectively. Streetlights cast long shadows as officers move into position. Each one remains unseen but alert, ready to act at a moment's notice. Footage captures trained detection dogs being guided around the perimeter, their handlers watching closely for any trace of the suspect or illegal substances. Tactical teams are strategically positioned around the building, forming a controlled perimeter with no easy exit. Officers stay out of sight, prepared to respond instantly. Cameras equipped for low-light conditions scan the darker corners of the property. Every quiet step and controlled breath signals that the operation is reaching its final stage. Months of planning have led to this moment. The outcome will depend on precision and discipline. The silence breaks with a clear command to move. The front door is forced open with a battering ram, and officers in tactical gear enter quickly and methodically. Inside, the suspect, identified as a known Mongols member, appears startled and unprepared. He rises from a worn couch in a cluttered living room, illuminated by flashlight beams. Officers issue firm, direct commands. The suspect complies and is placed in handcuffs without resistance. While one team secures him, others move through the residence, clearing each room systematically. Every area is checked to ensure there are no additional threats. The arrest is executed cleanly, reflecting extensive preparation and coordination. Once the suspect is secured and escorted to a police vehicle, the focus shifts to securing the scene. The surrounding area is sealed off with police tape, and additional officers assist in maintaining control. Specialized evidence collection teams enter the building to document and gather materials. Photographs are taken, and items such as documents and electronic devices are carefully collected. At the station, the suspect is processed, while detectives begin reviewing the seized materials. The arrest represents more than the detention of one individual. Investigators intend to use the evidence gathered to pursue broader inquiries into alleged Mongols' activities. During the search, officers reportedly discovered illegal weapons, including unregistered firearms and ammunition concealed within hidden compartments. Authorities also found narcotics, including methamphetamine and cocaine, suggesting possible involvement in drug distribution. Financial records and digital devices containing communication logs and transaction details were also recovered. Investigators believe these materials may clarify the suspect's connections and provide insight into wider operations. Forensic specialists begin analyzing the electronics to identify potential links to other individuals. Law enforcement officials indicate that the evidence could support further arrests and expose a larger network. Each item collected is catalogued and prepared for detailed examination as the investigation continues. Implications and broader impact. The arrest of a high-profile Mongols Motorcycle Club member represents a significant development in efforts to combat organized motorcycle gang activity. Authorities state that removing a key figure may disrupt certain operations, particularly those related to drug distribution and weapons trafficking. The evidence gathered may also offer insight into the organization's structure and future plans, allowing law enforcement to take more targeted action. Officials suggest the arrest sends a message that investigations into organized criminal activity are ongoing and coordinated. For communities affected by gang-related crime, such actions may bring a measure of reassurance. Law enforcement agencies emphasize that dismantling organized networks requires sustained effort, careful investigation, and collaboration across jurisdictions. This concludes the overview of the arrest and its potential implications. The investigation remains active, and further developments may follow as authorities analyze the evidence and determine their next steps.